Hey everybody, Stephanie here, and this is my exploration number 6 for EDLD 7372 for spring 2022 semester. So it is getting harder and harder to choose my exploration prompts because we're on number 6 and there are 10. So I'm having to decide like between the ones I really want to do and the ones that I have bookmarked for which ones I've wanted to do. You can see here is my copy of the book, and I have a bunch of tabbies of the explorations I want to do, the ones I have done, and this is the one I'm currently doing. So having to decide between what is important, what I really want to do. Anyway, so in this exploration, I am doing exploration number 12 called 50 Things. And in this exploration, I wrote down 50 things that I noticed about a walk around my campus. I work in a middle school. I'm a middle school librarian. So I walked around my campus. We've had a lot of renovations this year. And the reason I chose my campus was because in the original prompt for 50 things, it was to write down things about a trip to the library, the grocery store around my neighborhood. But I work in a library. I do the majority of my grocery shopping online and get my groceries delivered. And I never really get home in time for a walk in the daylight around my neighborhood since we've had a time change. And so this was the best I could do. So, in my exploration, I walked around my school, I opened a Google Doc on my phone, and I just wrote down things that I noticed while I was walking. So, in my website, where I built this, you can see here are the 50 things in the document. But then underneath, because I felt like it would be weird to just talk about these things and not have a way for you to understand what I was seeing, I included a Google slide here where you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and I numbered them and they match the numbers of the 50 things. So you can go through and match, but I did want everybody to be able to understand what was happening. Okay, so during my walk around the campus, I noticed that our campus floors are dirty. It's going to tell you a little bit about how I feel about our janitors. Anyway, our lockers are a really ugly color. Our ELA department started this really cool thing called locker libraries, where they put the books that they use for classroom book studies in, and they're labeled. And you can see that in the picture here. So these labels tell what's in them. They also use them for storage, like for fundraisers with stuff in them. Our walls don't match, and you can see in the picture that goes with that the walls are different colors, so you can see when things were updated. I have a poster outside my library that says Mrs. Russell is currently reading, and I haven't updated that in a minute. I need a new bulletin board outside. We have locker closets. Notice that one of my favorite ELA teachers is leaving soon. There's a random mess outside her door. We have tardy sweeps periodically throughout the day, and the kids just run from them even though they're still going to be tardy. It's funny. One of the teachers made a periodic table of Black History Month people to highlight. And then there are other sort of made bulletin boards around the school, but they're incomplete. Our C hallway feels really sad because a lot of the teachers have left or they're not doing a whole lot with decoration, so it just feels really sad in there. We had a fight recently and there's still a blood spot left on the floor. The back hallway, so our school's laid out really weird, and our back hallway was built after the rest of the school, so it doesn't match the flooring. Our school is laid out weird. Our back doors of the school lead to a nursing home. It was a really pretty day when I did this, and we're all stuck inside. There were some really neat student-made posters about preventing Asian hate, and also encouraging the celebration of the Asian and Pacific Islander Month. The 8th grade hallway has decorated ceilings where past students have taken the ceiling tiles down and decorated them. One of the teachers has a Jason Reynolds poster outside her door. I love the student-made yearbook posters, and if you have a chance, go through my slides and see the ones that the kids have made. My library is in between two of our hallways, and the C hall hallway I don't have decorated like I do the B hall, so I should do that. There's blue hallway tape left on the floor in the hallways from when students were encouraged to walk different ways while they were social distancing. Our main hallway has also been renovated, and so its flooring doesn't match the rest of the school. The cafeteria also has decorated ceiling tiles from past classes. There's a random fire extinguisher outside the cafeteria. The cafeteria floor and the back hallway floor outside the gym is new. They were also renovated this summer. I found the staff parking lot. And then The gym hallway looks nice now that it's not full of furniture. So they just finished rebuilding or adding on a new fine arts wing to our campus. And the back hallway where our gym is was full of all the furniture that was in those classrooms that now got rebuilt. I never had been in the new fine arts wing and I didn't know where it was. And I found it. And we have a class called Kickstart where the students learn martial arts and self-defense. And so I didn't know where that classroom is and I found it. And then I got to go through our new fine arts hallway. It's really nice. Found out that the choir has their own office and restroom, and I'm jealous. I found our campus track. I didn't know where it was. The new band hall is super far back. Wondering how the students make it in 3 minutes because they only have 3-minute passing periods. Our coach's office apparently has its own secret passageway to the gym. Our lost and found outside the cafeteria is a mess. Our gardening club is blooming. I do want to point that out here because we have a really cool gardening club that's doing a lot. And we have some flower beds inside school. You can see right here. And so those are blooming really nicely. Going back around, more yearbook posters. There's something called a Pepsi rat. Art decorated one of the hallways, and you can tell because it's really pretty, and there's lots of art posters that they've created. There's a movie on in one of the classrooms, which is against campus policy. The further back, the more teachers have fans in their classrooms because it gets really hot towards the back of the building. There's a make one, take one art box thing outside a classroom. And then I found the side entrance of the school. And I said, oh, that's where the teachers go when they come in this way in the morning. And then you can go through here and see, so there's that Pepsi rat. This is the art decorations, the art classroom, and you can see our classroom hallway signs are really small, so they have to decorate their doors. There's that make one, take one, and then there's where teachers come in the morning. So for my reflection, I chose this particular exploration because I wanted to do something that made me more aware of my surroundings. And I was excited to have an excuse to explore the fine arts hallway at my campus. I have been at this campus. This is my first year on this campus this school year. And so I haven't had a lot of time to just explore and walk around. And I noticed a bunch of the past explorations were also encouraging me to kind of get off my phone, stop scrolling, and notice what was going on around me. And so I thought this would be a really great extension of those. How might you apply this exploration to a particular research area? So, like I've done in the past, I typed some things in Engine Orange to see what I could find in relation to research on it. And so I thought about how the school decorations or how school setup or school surroundings affect students would be a really cool way or a really cool topic to research. And so I found a book called The Decorated School, Essays on the Visual Culture of Schooling, Building Pedagogies, a Historical Study of Teachers' Spatial in New School Architecture. I thought that was interesting because when new schools are built and they build they design the architecture of libraries, they never ask for librarian input, which I think is important, right? Anyway, and then more about interior decoration of the premise of the building on the State of Educational Institution Secondary School. And these are both international. And Poland did a study on decorations for teachers and employees of art schools were presented. So I thought it would be really interesting to think about those things. And I'm going to talk about that more in another reflection question. And this exploration felt really weird. I felt like I was going to get in trouble or someone was going to ask like what I was doing, wandering around and typing things. Like it looked like I was just texting. And our security guard started following me. And my principal saw me just walking around and kind of gave me a weird look. But here we are. So this exploration made me think about how the school surroundings affect students. So at schools where I've worked at that were recently built or were new schools, and they had lots of things that students had created. So students made posters, student created flyers, things that promoted what students were doing. The students just generally felt happier at those campuses. And at my current school, it's 35-year-old campus. There's not a lot of things that are student created or anything that's really fun on the walls, and we have a lot of fights, we have a lot of student depression and anxiety. So I just think that that probably makes a really big difference. And it made me notice small things about my campus that I probably would have noticed before, but I wouldn't have taken so much time to think about before. So this exploration will probably help me think, live, and be differently in the world, thinking about how the school surroundings affects the students and the teachers. I used to be a second grade teacher, and I also taught sixth grade math before I was a librarian. And I always incorporated bright colors and posters and student art and having the windows open and music and just lots of things that were bright that kind of helped generate the dopamine or the serotonin that I think we need. And so I try to carry that over to my library. So I'm going to kind of turn my laptop so you can see, but I try to have a lot of color in the library because I feel like students need a place to not only feel safe and feel like it's a place where they can just have fun and explore, but we do as teachers and as humans too. So just things to think about. This was a really interesting exploration, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.